Right, we begin this half hour with the immigration crisis. Unaccompanied Central American children continue to pour into the U.S. by the thousands.
And now President Obama is asking Congress, get this, for nearly $4 billion to deal with the problem. Part of that money will be used for the tens of thousands of children who have come into the country alone. Some will be used for detention facilities and to hire immigration lawyers to speed up the processing and a deportation. And today the president is set to meet with Texas Governor Rick Perry and other leaders in Dallas to talk about this. Now, some of the money the president wants would help New Mexico as well. Recently, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Artesia was transformed into a temporary holding facility for women and children who are here illegally. At least 200 people are there right now waiting to get deported. And Congressman Steve Pierce says the center and the town need this federal money.
I do not think any local community needs to get stuck with bills to pay for the federal government doing this. And so obviously we need to fund these camps where people are being held.
If Congress gives the president the money, some of it would go to the Department of Health and Human Services, Justice, and Homeland Security. It would be used to expand facilities, provide care, and bring in more judges to help get the immigrants back to their home countries. About $879 million would be used for holding them and sending them home. Senator Tom Udall from here in New Mexico says that money would certainly help, and both Democrats and Republicans agree that politics need to be put aside. Senator Martin Heinrich here says it is crucial for the country to provide safe and secure, humane care to these children and their families. Well, violence in Central America is a big reason a lot of the immigrants are coming here. CNN talked with a mother from Guatemala about the horrors she left behind. It's a heart-wrenching story. A woman here, simply known as Patrona, says she brought her son Rudy to the U.S. illegally just for a chance for them to live. She says gangs in Guatemala threatened to kidnap her toddler unless she paid them. They'd already broken her father's legs and killed another child in her family, so she took off. The gangs in Guatemala make their money from drugs and ransoms from these kidnappings, and in some places, they've even taken over entire towns. And Catholic Charities here in New Mexico is also helping the children and the families involved in the border crisis. The organization will be sending donations to the Las Cruces and El Paso diocese to buy things such as diapers and toiletries, things these people need. For more information on how you can help them, go to our website at krqe.com and click on News Links.
We now know more about a recent deadly shooting that involved a deputy U.S. Marshal. According to the Albuquerque Journal, Deputy U.S. Marshal Kenneth Daniel shot and killed Anthony Chavez at a home on Upper Meadow last Wednesday. There was a warrant out for Chavez for violating his federal probation. He was on supervised release after pleading guilty to transporting immigrants across the border illegally. Albuquerque's mayor is asking that a fake Twitter account aimed at lampooning him be taken down. That account has the same picture and name as R.J. Berry's real account. And as you can see here, the first tweet on the fake account goes off on him, basically casting the mayor and his staff in a bad light. They are tweets that the mayor's office says are pretty much ridiculous and flat out lies. For example, one tweet says that APD Chief Gordon Eden has resigned, which is clearly not true. The mayor's office has asked Twitter to remove that account because the account is clearly a parody and does not state so. But one social media consultant that we spoke with says that's unlikely.
Since it is, I think, trying to be a parody account as opposed to something malicious, Twitter will give them the opportunity to clarify, hey, this is a Twitter parody account.
It's not the first time we've seen fake Twitter accounts pop up for leaders in New Mexico. There was one for State Auditor Hector Valderas and for APS Superintendent Winston Brooks.
5:35 now. A firefighter hurt by an explosive in the Jemez Mountains is out of the hospital this morning. Forest Service firefighters from California and was putting up a fire danger sign near the turnoff to Fenton Lake on Monday. When he saw a glass jar with some liquid in it, he went over to it, he touched it with his foot, and the thing blew up. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, has sent what is left of the explosive to the National Crime Lab. Investigators are also going through the area looking for more evidence that might be left behind. Well, new development now in the controversy with Kit Carson Park up in Taos. You know Carson, the famous explorer and scout in the 19th century, and lived much of his life in Taos and died there. In fact, he's buried in the park that was named after him. But last month, Taos City Council renamed it Red Willow Park, because Carson forced thousands of Navajos to move to Bosque Redondo in the 1860s, where many died. Last night, the council reconsidered and decided that the part of the park where Carson is buried will keep his name. A committee is now set to come up with a new name for the rest of the park.
The Bernalillo County Clerk is warning voters about people who might be trying to mislead them. Some people have been approached by groups outside of various businesses trying to get them to register to vote. In some cases, they were told they have to re-register every 2 to 5 years. The county clerk says that's not true. The clerk's office says some of these third-party registration agents get paid for each person they register. Now, just so you know, the only time someone must re-register to vote is if they move or want to change parties.